Is this thing on?
Yes, it is.
This thing on?
It is on, man. We talk to the people, man. You ain't been on. You ain't been on in a minute.
Oh man, how long has it been? 26 years, 17 days, something like that. I don't know. Hey man, but look, Views 122, live on the scene. We got Trav, we got Vic, we got Tanya, we got a couple other people who are gonna be coming through, stopping by. Hey man, it's that time of year. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Too early for that, but I understand.
But with that being said, I mean, it's a crazy off season. We have a lot of stuff that's happened, a lot of stuff to talk about, a lot of for lack of better terms, a lot of nonsense, a lot of nonsense and rigmarole and all that good stuff. So I'm excited for the season. I don't know how everybody else feels. We're gonna go around the horn real quick. Vic, he got the Focus shirt on. I mean, Focus, man, how you feeling, man? How you feeling?
Feeling good, man. It's been a long time since I've been able to chop it up with y'all. Feels great to see you. Everybody's doing good, man. I hope. Seems like we all busy doing something nowadays, acting like professional, quality citizens, walking this earth, walking this country, because God knows we need it. You know what I mean? So thank God for all the benefits and everything everybody's getting. Looking forward to this season, man. I mean, football, miss it. It's been a long time. Baseball season hasn't been a good entertainment for me in terms of the New York Yankees this year. So, looking forward to some hitting and helmets banging each other. So, pause. But yeah, man, what's going on, Trav?
Man, you know what it is, man. It's been a long time, man. It's been a long time. Still missing one, but it's been a long time coming, man. Football, it's like, is it me or is it that football has the longest absence between seasons? It seems like
That's really how it feels.
It seems like that at times, but man, I'm ready for this season to go, man. I'm just interested in seeing the team's improvements and all. So I'm ready to get this year going, man.
So that being said, let's pass it to the first lady. Tanya, how you feeling, man? How we feeling?
Is it me or is it that football has?
I'm excited. I'm ready for this to start already. Like I'm ready for Thursday. Like right now. So. What you gonna say, Trav?
You on mute? Somebody press play on the.
No, you good. I was about to say nothing.
Got the Steel Curtain family in the house right now, man. Ready? I'm ready for that. I'm ready to see the new.
Corn here, man. What's going on, man?
Come on,
You on mute,
That
Quan?
iPhone ain't
What's
working.
up? What's up, people? What's up? The iPhone works better than the Android. But what's up though? How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? Long time no see.
Hey man, we already got.
First of all,
my bad. We already got Terrell talking about he don't want to see Trav on the screen. We starting off nice and hot.
You don't want to see it because 121 mile ball going over his fence. That's what's going on.
So, with everything being said, y'all, we're gonna jump right into it. We ain't even gonna have y'all starve no longer. We back. We got a lot of stuff to cover real quick, and we're gonna cover it fairly easily. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna cover the spread like some of these teams ain't doing, and things like that. So first things first, we've had a crazy offseason. This offseason, we have seen some really, really good players go to some interesting places. We've also seen some guys who still haven't been signed yet. We have seen a lot of very, very intriguing players via the draft, via free agency, moving around, like we said. What move would you guys say, or what free agent signing would we say has the biggest impact on the 2023 season? And I'm going to start with Jaquan.
Thought you gonna start with me. I have to say, I go with all the things the Jets have done. I think that they're going to have the biggest pack, especially in the AFC. They done brought all Aaron and Dalvin Cook, and I think it's crazy that everybody's trying to come over to the AFC and make it more tougher than what it already was. But yeah, I think that was the best addition so far this offseason.
I'm gonna tell y'all one thing. If it wasn't the best, it was probably the biggest. Because anytime a quarterback moves to another division like that, in these particular situations, that's front page news. Trav,
Yeah.
what would you say is your biggest offseason?
I do agree with Juwan. I do agree with him with the Jets, but the thing that I'm tripping about is what's going on with the Colts as far as Taylor and the running back. Like, what they gonna do with him? Are they gonna sit this man like this, or are they gonna let him ride? Is he gonna play? I mean, it's not more of the move; it's more of what that team is going to do, because he's basically their main weapon. What you gonna do at this point? So
Right now,
we're gonna get to that one, but we're gonna get to that one a little bit later in the show.
yeah.
Because I want to spend a little time on that before we close, and I want to spend a time on that for a whole nother reason that I think everybody will appreciate.
Hold on.
But with that being said,
Hold on. The numbers have went up. The numbers have went up. The numbers have jumped. Sony pop on the numbers jump. Mo, what's the business, man? What's
Man, listen, man, it's like
He
riding a bike.
lives.
It's like riding a bike. It's like riding a bike. What's going on, Jaquan? Who's
What's
on here?
up,
I'm on
Mo?
my phone. Shit, how long? I'm acting like an amateur right now. Okay, there we go. There we go. First lady, FSU's finest, Coco. And of course, my long lost brother, Mr. So True. How are you?
Absolutely. I'm good. So you got on right in time, because we just now started, right? So
Okay.
the first question of the night on our itinerary is actually the biggest free agent sign.
Ah,
So we already got Jaquan and Trav. They already said they already got A-Rod.
okay.
I'm gonna go in a different direction.
Okay. Is it my turn?
Yeah, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna let you go ahead and get in. Let you go ahead and get your hands dirty.
Okay. Since they took A-Rod, allow me to just hopefully I don't take yours, Germ, because I don't know what Vic said. Did Vic answer?
haven't gone yet,
No,
but
we haven't. We have one of
Okay.
us three haven't answered yet. We gonna let first
So
lady
I'm
go
hoping
last.
I don't take either of yours. But since they said A-Rod, which I'm gonna take it as who is gonna be the most impactful signing.
That works.
And I'm gonna go with Mike McGlinchey to the Denver Broncos. I think Russell Wilson last year is in the conversation for the most disappointing free agent signings in history. But I think not only Sean Payton, which is also one of the things that I'm sure discuss later on in the show, and especially at length come Sunday for Views and Views, the official return. But I'm gonna go with Mike McGlinchey. I just think you give that offensive line, which has talent, which has potential, with a revamped coaching staff. I think you put in somebody like that, to help bookend a solid offensive line for a quarterback who is entering the second phase of his career where he can no longer depend on his athleticism and his spontaneity to consistently make plays. Therefore, he has to, I don't want to say descend, but ascend into being a better pocket passer and a better rhythm passer and a better overall quarterback within the framework of the offense. So I'm going to say Mike McGlinchey. It's a fair deal. It's a strong deal. I don't think I think there's like a opt out or a void after 3 years. That's not going to happen. So just to be a little different, I'm going to go with no beef, no Lombardi, baby. And that's a big signing for him.
Vic, who you roll?
I'm gonna go with a trade that was done, and that's the Dolphins getting Jalen Ramsey in that secondary. I mean, we already know the two corners that they got there, how strong that secondary has been, but they've been injured in and out of the lineup. So you get yourself a third guy that can fill in, that can take some snaps and stuff like that. I think that defense, especially with, going up against Aaron Rodgers, going up against Josh Allen in that Buffalo offense, and anybody in the AFC, I think the Dolphins just made themselves that much stronger by trading for Jalen Ramsey in the offseason.
First lady.
Uh-huh.
First of all, hello.
What's up, Tanya?
Nothing. So Jaquan took my original answer. I'm doing this to make Trav mad, but I'm gonna say Baker going to Tampa.
You got one more game. This mute button can go to work. Promise you. Don't play with me.
Talk about it though. Let's talk about Baker Mayfield.
I mean, really though. I mean, I think so. I mean, and then a biased answer for me would be us getting Patrick Peterson, but that's just later. But yeah, not to just make Trav mad. I think that's interesting. I also think Derek.
I hope he does good, but number 13 there has already let it be known that he ain't there next year. He ain't there next year. No matter win, lose, or draw.
Listen, it's obviously it's a drop off from the greatest of all time. I mean, we know that.
Right.
But I mean, Baker has a strong enough arm. We see what he can do down the field. Mike Evans. I think Mike should give him a chance. Like you said, he's already expressed trying to get put on the trade block. See if he can get moved to another team. He is at in his 30s. He's just hitting 30. I think 31 now.
Mm-hmm.
So he understands that his career is kind of winding down as a receiver. But I think that he should give Baker a chance to see what they can get downfield and see if they can compete in the division. I mean, that's not very. It's not the strongest division in the league. So
it's for the taking. It's for the taking.
It's wide open.
Big before you go.
No, go ahead.
I know you said Jalen Ramsey. Is Jalen hurt? He's hurt right now.
Oh, like Jalen Ramsey is?
He has like a somewhat of a playoff. Like if they were to make it to the playoffs, he may be back.
He's out for a few months. I can't remember what they're aiming for, but he's out for a couple months.
It's December. December is the latest. They're trying to aim for right around Thanksgiving. That's the timetable.
I didn't even see the injury on that. Shoot, we rushed it.
I thought it was longer than that, but he's hurt.
The thing is with Jalen, it still helps them because still all the rest of the pieces are still there. Correct. So it doesn't matter what you get. It's almost that's equivalent to a first round pick. Technically, getting all the reps and getting acclimated into your system late in the season to help you with your playoff push. So really the key for them, to me, in my opinion, with the Dolphins, which that roster, that 53-man roster is one of the top in the world. They have no excuses, in my opinion. I think the addition of Bradley Chubb, we're extremely high on him. We really like Jalen Phillips off the edge as well. Like, they have a lot of very, very sneaky, athletic, dynamic, explosive players that you just have to, you have to game plan for these guys. And shout out to Jevon Hollins too. Like, that's another good, very, very interesting safety prospect that they have there.
Yeah,
And he was in the box last year making all types of plays.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think that team has a lot. I'm going to go another direction, and I'm going to do two players. I'm going with Cleveland. I'm going Juan Thornhill, and I'm going Zadarius Smith. The reason why I'm going with those two players and why I'm saying those are two of the most impactful is because we've been trying to find somebody to complement Miles for a long time. And this might be a player that can do it. But most important, me and Mo have talked about this off the record. Me and Vic have talked about this off the record. I talk about this with everybody. Cleveland has not had a free safety since Tashawn Gibson. And it's shown with the way that they play. They get in these cover zeros or cover ones, always a big play. One gives you somebody who can play that middle, who can play whatever you need him to play in that zone, that cover two, whatever it is that you play, who is going to be responsible, who's going to be reliable, and he most importantly is going to be dependable and be able to stabilize what you have with your cornerbacks. That's what they needed more than anything else, in my opinion, on that defense, even more than another pass rusher, was somebody on the back end to help with coverage. The strong safety position, you got Delpit, you got guys like that, but you tried to get John Johnson to play a position he's never played before. What did you expect to get out of that? And the other thing here that I think we have to talk about and we got to be objective about, Jim Schwartz. Say what you want to say about a lot of these coordinators. Jim Schwartz is one of the best in the league at being able to get pressure with four. If that team can get pressure with four, look out. We're going to have a long season for a lot of teams, especially when they have arguably the best pass rusher in the world to go along with some quality beef now that they've added with guys like Dalvin Thomas. So that's my biggest offseason free agent signings right there for me. This
Can I mention
Aaron Rodgers is an
honorable mention?
Is an obvious one, guys. Yeah, we can do honorable mention too. But Aaron Rodgers is obvious because like I said on the post in our group, in the Views from 22 group, Aaron Rodgers is probably still the best quarterback in the league, arguably, if you can argue it. And it's a very strong case for him. It's just Pat does the small things that equates to winning, which is why Aaron hasn't won more than one. And I'll go ahead and, is it true?
I got an honorable mention too, right after you, Mo.
Yeah, so my honorable mention is actually gonna be for the Cowboys, and it is the addition of Brandon Cooks and Stephon Gilmore. No, not because they are two former Patriots, but mainly because I think you add some veteran leadership on both sides of the ball, for one. For two, you getting a player in Stephon Gilmore who is one of my candidates to be defensive comeback player of the year. I actually have both defensive comeback players of the year from your corners. I'm leave the second one for later. But I think Stephon Gilmore is going to come into a defense that's fast and then could use that leadership in terms of experience. And I think for Brandon Cooks, not only is he coming into a wide receiver group that is young, but one where the Cowboys had an issue last year in terms of stretching the defense vertically. And although he is older, he is still one of the top receivers in terms of stretching the defense vertically. He also loves that deep comeback route, which I think we've talked about extensively how effective of a route that is, especially when you're playing man coverage. It's a great man beater if you got the right guy to run it and if you got the right quarterback who can throw it. And so I think it'll not only alleviate some of that coverage off of the young stud, losing his name right now.
CD
Oh my
Lamb.
God.
CeeDee Lamb.
Who?
CD.
Yes, Steve.
CeeDee Lamb.
Which is, it's a shame because I just barbecued some lamb just like 2 hours ago. And then the other young receiver, also name forgetting me right now. Oh my God.
Michael
I think
Gallup.
yeah. So I think you add that another receiver with, again, you add depth, you add leadership, you add some versatility. I don't think, again, we know it's America's team. We know it's going to be the most talked about team week in and week out, no matter what. And once again, they are in position to headline some Sundays and headline some weekends in January. And I think those two are going to be pivotal. You got Diggs and Gilmore on the one side. You got Cooks and CeeDee Lamb on the other side. That bodes well on the perimeter for the Cowboys.
Yeah, to piggyback off of first of all what Germ said, I like that video that you shared to us of Zadarius and Garrett going at each other. They were snapping off of the line and see who could get up to the the practice dummies faster. And Zadarius was kicking Myles Garrett ass. So, they're gonna bring the best out of each other for that defensive line. Off of what Mo said, the Cowboys also got this kid named Jake Ferguson at tight end, who they are very, very excited about. That they let Dalton Schultz go because they're really excited about this kid and they think that he's more athletic than him. So that Cowboys offense, anybody in fantasy football, look out for that name as well. But another tight end I'm gonna throw in there is Darren Waller for the Giants. I think that Darren Waller, staying healthy, obviously. If he's able to, be A1 quality tight end that we think he is, he's gonna help the Giants out a lot. He's gonna help Saquon a lot. He's gonna help David Jones a lot. So it's the Giants have a good chance to take a step forward with that offense, the offensive line getting stronger, and a better tight end, to pick them up. Real quick, Tyrell added the Eagles running backs, DeAndre Swift and Rashad Penny, who was one of our favorite running backs. Unfortunately, he's just not been able to stay healthy. But the Eagles were last season in terms of running back targets and running back, receptions, obviously. So DeAndre Swift and Rashad Penny should be able to help them out in that department and kind of make that offense even stronger as well. So I expect the NFC East and the AFC East to be very strong again in terms of offense this coming season.
Just to throw one thing in there before we go to the next thing, I just think that some of the things that there's no clear-cut winner or loser, I guess not, until we get to Super Bowl Sunday.
Yep.
But that just shows you just how much stuff has been moved around in the league. And you talking about guys that have moved around that probably would have never moved. One shouldn't move from Vegas. I don't care what you say. Gives you great tight ends are hard to find, and we can say that. And we don't got to talk about his pass through like other stuff folks every time we talk about him. So with that being said, I want to go around and we want to do something fun real quick. So real quick, division winners, right? So of course we got, of course, division winners.
Of course.
Which division, number one, do we feel is the best division in the AFC? Mo, I actually want to start with you on this. So I think they're going to have the same answer or completely opposite answer. That's the reason why.
So I have this thing, right, where like towards the end, I was going to talk about the 5 teams that are going to have the biggest sort of impact on the season, right? I mentioned 4 teams, and then the 5th team is a weird one because it's the entire division, and that is the AFC North. think when you look at that division, number one, you got arguably two of the top 5 quarterbacks in that division. I know he hasn't been that in the last 2 years for various extracurricular reasons, but a full offseason, an arsenal of weapons, and hopefully a change of culture entirely. I think Deshaun Watson will be right back in that conversation. Whereas we've been talking the last couple years, and as far as the younger guys are concerned, in terms of Mahomes, Burrow gap. Well, I think that gap is going to change into a blank, and that blank is going to be filled in by Deshaun. And then you go further with Joe Burrow. Need I say more? Jamar Chase. Okay, I'll stop there. Yes, they lost their safeties, but we know what the Bengals are going to be. And then you move down to the Ravens. They added Odell. They still have just overall feisty roster. They're going to bring it week in and week out. They're going to jump on teams early. Just depends on if the team they're playing can sustain for 60 minutes. So they're going to be competitive week in and week out. And then we go to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I see Tanya and Jaquan perk up a little bit when I said their name. You could make a legitimate argument in terms of talent that might be the best team in the division. Where they fall short is obviously they have the 4th worst quarterback in that division. And the issue is there are more questions than answers when it comes to the young quarterback. Kenny Pickett. Does he make plays? Yes. Has he shown potential? Yes. But he's not the first nor the last to show optimism after a year in the league where you could just tell he's such a young player. So while there is a lot to develop, and yes, that is reason for optimism, there's also a lot to develop, which is reason for why it might go backwards. Their defense, I think, is going to be better. Overall, I think their offense is going to be better. But it all is going to come down to whether that quarterback can make consistent, positive plays. We don't need him to change the world. We don't need him to light up the fantasy scoreboard. We just need him to make consistent, positive plays because that defense, unfortunately, over the last few years, have had to overcome a lot of negative offensive plays. And I think that was one of the biggest reasons for frustration out of the Steelers fan base. So to me, you look at the AFC, yes, the AFC East is much, much improved. The AFC South, dare I say, the Jacksonville Jaguars might be the best team in that division. So what more can I say? And then with the AFC West, well, it just depends on what week Tom Brady comes out of retirement. As far as the AFC North, though, I just think that there's talent, there's explosiveness, and there's defense, and there's quarterbacks. How will the Steelers quarterback play is going to go a long way in determining a lot of things during these 17-week season now. But I definitely, without a shadow of doubt, wholeheartedly believe the AFC North is the best division in the conference, possibly in football. And I think they're going to present a lot of problems to a lot of teams every week.
I like it. You don't seem so rusty after all.
Hey, man, I feel rusty. I'm sweating.
Listen, the Steelers added like 3 offensive linemen. They added 2 receivers. George Pickens, German and I talked about him. Love that receiver. And then so he's got Allen Robinson to help him out there. Of course, the tight end, escaping my name. Is it Pete Freiermuth or whatever his last name is? Yeah. So, listen, Kenny Pickett, hopefully he doesn't live by his last name and gets a lot of pickings. Hopefully we're good in that department there because, I'm with you, man. I like the AFC North and I like the young talent that the Steelers have. They always drafting well, so that's always to be expected. But it's going to always be about the quarterback.
Yeah. And they still got TJ Watt. By the way, most of y'all know what I do here. The other day, I went to a business and I picked up a package from a local business. This is a cool little story. And it was going to one of the Steelers' main offices. And on the recipient name, it said TJ Watt. So I asked the lady, what is this about? She said that her and her son was at Steelers camp, which is not far from where I was. And the TJ signed his jersey, but he used like I think it was just the wrong ink or like the wrong color ink on the jersey. So you can't even see it. So apparently he reached out and they sent a new jersey that he is signing and send him back to the kid. So shout out to TJ Watt for that little gesture. And you're welcome, kid, because I took the box. But anyways, back to this.
That's great.
So I think what you said about the AFC North before I pass it to everybody else. The AFC North division, just in general, say what you want to say about each team in there. Each team might have a question mark, but each team's roster is built for success no matter what division, what conference they're in. Each team has the ability to run the ball. Each team has a guy who will be able to be successful running the ball. That's a lot to like.
Agreed.
What you said? What you say?
So what we have here is we said division. Who do you feel is the best division in football first? And then we're gonna transition from that into division winners.
Oh, I agree with Mo said, and which I agree off the AFC North. It feel like it's back to what it used to be. The AFC North is back to being the run the football, play good defense, and giving the teams the heart. Teams are not so much say scared, but they are like, we gotta play this. We're going to play this division this year. Damn, like we're gonna hit them, and it's gonna be crazy. So I agree with Mo said.
First lady.
Why y'all even asking me? Y'all already know my answer.
AFC South, yeah, we know.
Well, why the hell would I say that?
Not the AFC South.
Of all divisions.
You know what? I mean, the North is obvious, but the East is still relevant and is strong with Aaron making the Jets more relevant.
No doubt. No doubt. No doubt.
And no matter how people would talk about New England, they still going to compete. As long as they got that dude on the sideline, they're going to compete. They're going to compete. They're going to have some type of scheme defensively that's going to put them in the game. They're going to keep them in the game. It's all about the quarterback just managing the game properly and giving the ball to the players where it's needed. Of course, Buffalo is the one there right now. As long as that quarterback is not a running back also, they're going to have a chance in any and every game. Everybody going north. I'm gonna still stick with the East. The East is still AFC East is still tough. So that's how I put it.
Yeah, I mean,
because
I don't
got a lot of things
there?
that we can break down with the NFC. You got me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You kind of stuck.
You good.
You kind of stuck on your camera.
Right, then leave out and come back here.
I need to play. All right, so the key is with the NFC, I think the NFC is more top heavy than it is anything else, right? After your top 3-4 teams, it starts to become like a little bit of off. And now maybe a little bit, it's big because you have Philly. Obviously, Philly is Philly. You have teams like Dallas. Dallas is Dallas. You get New York Giants. They're where they are. So, with everything being said, after you guys, I'm going to vote for the NFC East. Vic,
Yeah.
I'm gonna swing it to you.
For the best, so we're doing the best division, right?
In the NFC, yes.
Yep. Division.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I mean, I'm also, like I said before, I'm also going with the NFC East. I think it's the deepest division in the NFC conference. Again, top to bottom, you got Dak. In terms of the quarterbacks, you got Jalen, of course, who I think is the best quarterback in that division now. You got Dak Prescott, and then you got Sam Howell, who, I mean, he looks very good towards the end of the season, and here in the preseason. Of course, is going to rely on a lot on what his development is. And then again, David Jones in the Giants. I think. I mean, again, this is the conference that is the weakest out of the two right now. But the NFC East, I think, with their quarterbacks and that talent on those rosters, is going to be the best division in terms of the NFC.
Yeah. I mean, let's go around the room here a little bit until Jerm gets back. Obviously, the NFC East seems like the obvious pick, Jaquan and Tanya and Trav. My issue is I just don't know how a lot of these teams are going to look in the NFC. I have a lot more questions about the NFC teams than the AFC teams. Like Jerm said, the NFC is really top heavy. You got the Eagles, you got the Cowboys, you got the Eagles and the Cowboys, really, when you look at it. The Rams and the 49ers, a lot of questions about them, even though there's no shortage of talent. How is Matt Stafford gonna bounce back from a down year with dealing with that surgery that we talked about it extensively on a show last year, Vic? Some guys just never bounce back from that type of surgery.
No.
You know what I mean? The 49ers, I don't what am I supposed to do here with the 49ers? Like, am I supposed to go in there with optimism about Brock Purdy? I don't know. I need to see more before I can, with conviction, say the San Francisco 49ers are going to be legitimate contenders. Are they going to beat teams? Yeah. Are they going to be tough? Absolutely. They still have probably the best defense in the league, probably the best pass rushers in the league. You know what I mean? The offensive line is still solid despite losing McGlinchey. And so, Shanahan is going to do enough where Purdy can operate within the structure of the offense and matriculate the ball down the field. But you can't just keep that. You can't just keep matriculating for 17 games and into January. Eventually, you got to be able to have those chunk plays consistently. That's just the only way you succeed in the NFL. And it's not because of the rules or whatever. It's been that way for 30, 40, 50 years. The 1970 Steelers had the best defense probably ever. They still got chunk plays. 85 Bears, they still got chunk plays. The Buccaneers, the Seahawks, chunk plays. You have to find ways to get chunk plays in the NFL. And I just have a lot of questions outside of Yak. How are they going to get their explosive plays? The Vikings. First of all, there's no way in hell Kirk Cousins is going to throw for 14 interceptions again, and they're going to win as many games as they did. That's just not going to happen. And they lost Dalvin Cook, which, if anything, we needed to decrease the usage of Kirk Cousins, not increase it. So how do you make up for the absence of that type of monster running the ball? The Packers, what? Again, questions. I got so many questions about the NFC. The Bears, I could hear less right now. What am I supposed to do with the Bears? Am I supposed to be confident in the Bears? So my issue with the NFC is, by default, you go with the NFC East because the two best teams in the NFC are in the NFC East. The two teams with the least amount of questions are in the NFC East. I'll let one of y'all take it away.
Yeah,
the three teams.
Oh,
the Giants don't have the Giants don't have as many questions as the 49ers.
You're right.
If you want to be all the way
Giants
honest.
gonna be pretty decent.
Yeah,
The Giants they're gonna look good this year. Yeah.
Listen, real quick, Germ, like to piggyback off of what Mo was saying about the 49ers, like we could go back to that draft, bro. And I'm sorry, but Mac Jones would have been an absolute superstar in that offense. Like people got their questions about him, but let's be honest, as great as Bill is, that offense is hot garbage around him.
It is.
He hasn't been great, but he's been good enough. And I think with that Kyle Shanahan offense and that talent, he would have been an absolute superstar right now.
He would have been.
And so Trey Lance, they already gave up on that. Like that was crazy. And
gave up and traded.
That was work. I can't believe these words are about to be articulated out of my mouth in English. But that was worse than the Mitch Trubisky trade. And I never thought I would say that about anything.
Yeah, I mean, listen, like, bro, listen, Trey Lance has those physical abilities, those talents that you look for. But there's a lot more involved. And I'm shocked that Kyle missed that badly with him. And you know, they missed that badly with that pick because it's I thought he was a better evaluator of the position, Jerm.
Well,
I just thought he was.
Well, that's a double entendre. Because why didn't mean just why for that. It was also why did he draft that player? It wasn't just why did you feel that way. See, I wasn't worried about just your feelings. I was worried about why he thought he saw what he saw. See, so two things at once. This, you know, one question that ends it all, you know. I always ask them who, what, when, where, how, and why, you know. Touch that. The one first thing to teach you.
The 49ers had to make up they trade back for they trade up.
But here's the problem. They still lost.
They still lost.
No, not necessarily. When they trade back, they got who was that? They traded back and the Bears ended up getting Trubisky. Am I correct?
No, that's not even the same trade. The Trey Lance trade was the trade that happened.
What I'm saying is the 49ers, they traded back so the Bears could get them, right?
No.
Bears,
that was the Panthers.
Trubisky was a part of a draft that was a couple years before Trey Lance. The Trey Lance trade that you talk about is the one that happened where they went from 12 and they jumped all the way to 3.
The 3, right.
Because they gave up a lot.
That's
the Bears only went up like one spot.
Right.
It was, and the 49ers was not going to even take Mitch Trubisky.
And the 49ers were not going to take him. That's what I'm saying. They went back. They went back and got something.
Oh, so you're saying that the
49ers to mess up.
You're saying that the 49ers was involved in that Trubisky trade?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, they were. They were number 2.
Watch this. They were. But you know the player that they took? Solomon Thomas. So anyway, so all I'm trying to say is every time the 49ers pick the number 3, they got 3. They do not have their chance to wrap their hats on. They're not woke. They're not picking the right player. So I just want y'all to understand every time they pick
that was a loaded draft, bro.
And they
was a loaded draft, and they took Solomon Thomas. Damn.
This is when they still had DeForest Buckner. They still had DeForest Buckner.
Good question.
They still had Eric Armstead. This is before they got Magabosa and everything else.
Magabosa though.
I said Magabosa.
I can't stand you, bro. I hate you just did that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like
I'm just saying, man, but if y'all see the consistent part right here that makes the most sense. The 49ers are botching a lot of things that come down to personnel, and they're hitting in free agency and they're hitting in other places. Kind of like another team in that division with Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll can't draft a first round player to save his gosh darn life, but then in the 3rd and 4th round he can find all these other players. Like, hey, listen. They're not the 49ers and the Seahawks are not allowed to have players in the 1st round. No. Period. Point blank.
I got a question though. I got a question.
Yes.
Do the 49ers draft better offensively or they draft better defensive.
No
They
question
draft better
defensively.
defensive.
That's
I mean, defensively,
that's
they
the
didn't miss
thing.
for about 3-4 years.
That's
Yeah.
the thing. That's the thing. They draft and get better players defensively. Than
Listen, they be on their Rico Hines. They got better today. Every time
no,
every time it's day 3 and day 4.
they
Day 3, day 2 and day 3, they get better today.
get
But they,
better
listen,
each
day
day.
1, they are not the Usos because that day 1 ish just not working. Okay.
I will say this about the NFC. I mean, we're talking very down on the NFC. I would say that the NFC South is probably the most intriguing division in that
Very much
conference.
so. Very much so.
And number one, you got the Falcons. They got their new young quarterback. A lot of optimism around him.
Panthers.
The Panthers, obviously, they got Bryce Young.
Saints got Derek Carr.
The
Baby, let me
what's
drive
his
my
name?
car.
The Buccaneers, sorry, Trav, the no longer we Buccaneers. They got Baker that overcooks every turnover he ever drove up. And then you got the New Orleans Saints, who, in my humble opinion, might actually have the best quarterback in that division. And I cannot believe I am saying a positive thing about Derek Carr.
Me neither.
But he
You see?
might actually be the best quarterback in that division.
Mo,
You
I'm gonna
see?
go, but I ain't not to cut you off like that. They may have the best 2 quarterbacks in that division.
Who's their backup?
Jameis.
Damn
30 for
Jameis is
30.
still there.
it. Crab legs.
30 for 30. It's still there.
30 for
Send
30.
Jameis to San Francisco, bro. Send Jameis to Kyle Shanahan, bro.
Hey, listen, Sebastian.
In all honesty, though, like, why is he there? He's got no reason to be there.
Hey man, what? Hey man, that's James' new nickname, Sebastian.
I could see it now. I could just see it now. Sometime like in October, he comes in and randomly in the third quarter on a random 2nd and 4 and just throws it 75 yards down the field. I could just see it.
On the Buccaneers.
This will be an
touchdown.
interception.
On the Buccaneers, they did last time. They did a flea flicker, whatever, and
Hey,
For
then
no
it's gonna be
freaking
the-
reason.
Hey, then
and
it's gonna be
score.
then it's gonna be the Mormon Tebow.
I can't. No,
Hey.
to be honest, the Buccaneers should have. I mean, Jameis Winston may have 2 homes, and they both in the NFC South. He should have came back to town. Somehow,
Trav, it's okay. We don't.
it's just
It's okay
I
to
ain't-
be sad.
dude. Baker can bake a cake in Cleveland. He can go back to Oklahoma for all I care.
Listen,
Yeah.
I don't think Oklahoma don't want them neither. They hey, listen, you know what Oklahoma said? You are not a part of the long line of successful quarterbacks that have been
I don't
here.
know, man.
You can get
Yeah.
out.
He
You can go.
He kind of started it.
He probably still have an arrest warrant out in Oklahoma.
Exactly,
I mean,
from running from the
kidding.
cops and tripping on curves and stuff.
Hey, listen.
Listen, y'all gonna get
Uh,
off that. Yo,
look
y'all
at
gonna
Vic,
get off
look
the
at
Baker
Vic.
slander.
Look at
Y'all gonna get off the Baker slander. Let them bake. Let them bake for a few weeks and see what happens. All right.
I
Shout out
hope
to-
he
shout out
We
I hope
scared.
he
We
do
scared,
good.
we're scared of the turnovers he gonna put in the oven. That's what the problem
I
is.
hope
But
he do
anyway,
good.
Hold on. Shout out the big shot. He said he got the Falcons winning the NFC
Yeah,
South.
Oh,
man,
there
just
we
because you want
go.
to go to the highlight factory, you want to go to the highlight factory, Big Sir. That's all you had to say. Because let
I'm
me tell you,
saying.
365,202 of Water Falcons ain't gonna be shit this year.
Dude,
So this new quarterback, don't trust him. Then
That's
after
a
that,
nice
this
thing.
There's a
owner,
running back.
Don't
There's
trust
a
him.
running back. There's a running
Hey.
back.
Hey, but here's the other part. Hold on, wait. Here's one more thing. Then the other thing. That $20 deal for all that food. Don't trust that either, because that looked like a hoax. I'm just saying that's another reason why they ain't gonna be good. They out here false advertising food. They got a $20 box. They got $80 worth of food in it. Hey man, we gotta stop this.
I'm gonna say though, that box is true.
Hey, that's another reason why they ain't gonna be SH, because they need
you
to charge
might well
regular
go
price for that
You
junk.
might well go to the cookout theater. That's the case.
Look, they need to do something because that dog was looking roof and everything on that. Yeah, I'm over it.
You
I
go
don't
to the
believe it.
cookout. You go to the
The
cookout,
highlight
spend
factor.
$5, get you a hot dog, hamburger, everything with about
Hey,
$5.
man, you go down there with 20, you listen, that's gonna make more people buy Falcons tickets now because now people are gonna say, I can feed the whole family for $20.
Yo. No, but for real though. Because I'm
Come
gonna tell
on,
you
little
this.
Billy Joe.
Yo,
Here's a
bro.
hot dog for you.
Some of these NFL stadiums is ridiculous with
I'm
their
about to say
prices
them stadium foods is high as hell.
for no reason either.
Yeah,
First of all,
I've been
they
to the
got
First of
one
all,
in
that,
Pittsburgh.
that pizza is nothing but Stouffer's microwave ready pizza. Okay, I know frozen pizza from
For
the fridge,
$15.
bro. What? You take one bite, all the cheese fall off. Like this is not what I
God.
paid.
It ain't even that much cheese. It's more
It,
sauce
it
than
ain't even,
cheese.
it don't even fall off. You pull it off with your teeth.
Listen, that running back,
Oh, man.
that running back is gonna be something special in that for that offense, man. And here comes Big Shot right now to defend himself.
Hey,
To
look.
defend himself, he don't need much defense.
Listen, first of all, I see Mo, Jay, and Tanya and Vic, so it must be a special occasion. Number one. What's going on? Hey, let me say this though. If you look at the NFC South, that's probably the first or second worst division in football, if we being completely honest.
They down. it.
So
They
you
down.
figure 17 games of the season. The Falcons win 5 games in the division. You win 5 outside of them, that's 10. And you look at their schedule. That schedule is not difficult. Arizona's on that schedule. Indianapolis is on that schedule. That I'm telling you. Now, there are absolute questions about Desmond Ridder. Absolutely.
Right.
But again, y'all just told me the best quarterback in the division is Derek Carr.
Right.
Man. Come on, man. If Derek Carr is the best quarterback in the division, what's the division?
The last time Derek Carr was the best quarterback in his division,
He played in the FBS.
Patrick Mahomes did not exist, and Brock Osweiler was the second best quarterback in the division. So that's really all.
Wait.
that needs to be
wait.
said.
Go ahead. What you want to say, Jeremy?
Wait. Because I still might have took Brian Greasy over him. I still would have took.
Nope. Alex Smith.
I still would have took Alex Smith over
Alex
him.
Smith.
Yeah, true.
Alex Smith
true,
was the.
true.
Alex Smith may have been
Uncle Phil was there.
Hey,
So never mind that. I stand
what's
corrected.
his
Never
name?
missed the first time.
Let's be real about this. And Mo and Vic and Jeremy, y'all know the history. Tanya and Jay as well. If it's not a trade, when do NFL starting quarterbacks become available like that?
When they bridge water. That's a bar heavy.
Like outside of Peyton and Brady, really, I mean, you look at Brady, ended a line there in New England. He was 46 years old, whatever it was.
Right.
No, he was 43.
Brady,
He was at least 70 something.
He's 137 years old.
Yeah.
Peyton was coming off neck surgery. Drew was coming off of them saying he won't be able to throw again. So really, it doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen.
And
No.
Drew, and another thing with Drew was, it wasn't just even that. It was just Drew was underwhelming as hell at when he was at San Diego. He was underwhelming as hell to the point where they was like, "Hey, LaDainian, do you even want this dude? Like, you want him?"
Yeah.
Like, that's what happened.
So no, you're right.
That's what really happened. And then they drafted Phillip Rivers in the first round.
I was
And it
just
really was
about to
supposed to
say.
It was supposed to be Eli Manning, and he said, "I don't
Nope.
want to go there."
He said, absolutely not.
That boy son told his dad, "Hey, Dad, I don't want to go to San Diego. Tell these folks I don't want to go to San Diego."
So you look at the Saints, and it's Who's playing and who playing quarterback? Not to be funny. Who playing quarterback in Tampa Bay this year? Who?
Baker.
Baker.
Come on, Rob. Come on, shot. I'm over here
Grand
covering
Theft
for
Auto.
you. Come on, shot.
I thought Baker was out the league, and I'm not even trying to be on some
I
slick.
thought you was gonna say who's quarterback for Carolina. I can't even answer that right now.
It's Bryce Young.
It's Bryce
Oh,
Young.
look at
Right.
Tanya.
Vic, let me tell you, Vic.
What?
My bad, Tanya. My bad.
So
That's gonna
I
be
didn't
interesting
know
though.
This
I
is
think,
gonna
though,
be the most
I think,
interesting division.
and it's always that one team, like every
Yeah.
year, the team who can
Oh,
kind
you're
of
right.
default their way into 10 wins. I think the Falcons default their way into 10.
Yeah, the Falcons,
Falcons
I mean,
do
again, to your
everything by
point, the
accident.
Falcons
Anyway.
are very interesting because number one, like 1 through 53, there's a lot of decent players on there.
Yeah.
I just the Bucks, I really off the top of my head, the only team that I have lower expectations for than the Tampa Bay no longer we Buccaneers are the Arizona Cardinals and the Washington whatever their name is now. Yeah.
Hey, do you know
Like,
they gonna
if I'm
change
being
their name
honest.
again?
They're gonna change their name again. That's why I said whatever their name is now. But
Yeah,
I'm
they
being
gonna change
honest,
the
like not
name.
even trying to be funny. I just because again, you look at the rest of the teams in that conference. A lot of these teams have things to look that are like exciting about them. You know, the Packers, the Lions, the Bears. There's things that are exciting, intriguing, heading
Right.
into the first 4 to 6 weeks of the season, and eventually it'll play itself out. But honestly speaking, the Cardinals and the Commanders are the only team that I have lower expectations for than the Buccaneers. The Panthers, you know I'm a big fan of the Panthers roster and how young that defense is. But rookie quarterback, we'll see how he does. It's actually not a stretch to think the Falcons could somehow sneak into the playoffs, which would be crazy.
Mhm.
But hold on, though.
If
Hold on.
the Falcons do that, if the Falcons
Saints-
get to the playoffs, I will buy. But I will Big Shot. I will buy you a jersey if the Falcons get to the playoffs this year.
Lift this up. Somebody.
It's already clipped.
Give him a name. Give him a name too. Bijan Robinson.
Already
give
got
him
it.
that jersey.
Whichever one you want.
If the Falcons make the playoffs, I want to say Mary on the back. I want your name on the back of jersey because I want people to know that you bought it. Lift this up right now.
Hey, I'm gonna get you the authentic Jones, man. I got you.
Oh, the $300. Okay, now we're talking.
Ooh. We'll get
I mean,
the Nets.
we're gonna make it. If we gonna talk about what you sticking to them and you picking them, I don't disagree with what you said either because it makes football in a sense. But the problem is, I just do not have it in me to say anything positive about the Atlanta Dirty Bird, Michael Vickless, no work done Falcons. I just don't. We're done. You know,
the Falcons the last couple of years have been on the Chargers energy. I get it.
the Chargers got their own curse. Ever since they did Drew Brees bad, it's just been downhill from there. It's been down goes Frazier every year.
I get it, but I just think it sets up, and not because the Falcons like this ultra talented team. I just think sometimes you catch the schedule at the right time, you catch your vision at the right time, and it just kind of lines up for you. But absolutely, though, I want everybody to clip this up because I absolutely will take $300 authentic jerseys, courtesy of John. Absolutely,
already clipped.
Well, it's clipped. It's clipped. My word is bond. My word is bond, son.
And by the way, 11 of us can beat Arizona. Pick 11. 11 people out 3.5 point favorites for Arizona.
Yo, I swear to God, dude.
Hey, listen.
Oh man, listen.
The Cardinals committed one cardinal sin, and that's your quarterback got to
Bro.
be at least 6 feet to ride this ride.
Darn,
Hey, listen.
Darn, he's still on the kids
Hey, yo.
menu. Until he gets off the kids menu, I'm not buying it.
Listen, big shot. Give me Shane Falco, Faison Love,
The
Dr.
replacements.
Lee, and the Washington Sentinels over the Arizona Cardinals. Okay.
It's blatant too. Like
Give me Prime's team in Colorado.
for real. For real.
Oh my God, bro.
Listen, I know Arizona.
I would take the Little Giants to beat them one time against the Arizona Cardinals. Okay.
I mean,
I
the
don't
quarterback's
see-
the same height as the plate. No, never mind.
I see a chance for the Falcons to make the playoffs, man. The Panthers definitely good.
Again, yes, the Falcons and the Panthers have a lot of potential to throw a big wrinkle in the whole season. No doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. Before we finish up, Jerm, I came across an interesting nugget when I was reading here the last week or so, trying to catch up with all the information and news and whatnot.
You made
And-
top mouth water just by saying nuggets.
So something that came across my desk, my reading. Number one, points per game was at an all-time low for it took the last 6 years of data, I think. Last year, points was at an all-time low per game, which I thought was interesting. Second thing, roughing the passer and defensive pass interference was called significantly less last year. So you wonder how much that correlates with the points per game. Now they are expecting, according to the NFL, a more uniform approach. So they are hoping to be more consistent among all the crews in terms of how they call those two specific things. And that leads me to believe that they're going to call it more, not less. So that's something to keep an eye on for. Another thing that I also thought was interesting, concussions was at an all-time high, or they saw a jump. So not only are they changing the helmets for quarterbacks, the kickoff, if the ball goes past the 25-yard line, they can call a fair catch. So that takes away a whole strategic dynamic to special teams. Whereas over the last few years, teams would intentionally kick the ball higher so the receiver could catch it somewhere on the 10-yard line and be forced to take it out, and not only increase the chances of a possible fumble in the kickoff, but help the field position as well. So that's taken out of it, as I'm presuming, I'm sure, as a result of the concussions going up. So those are two measurements. The third measurement they're taking to decrease concussions is before, if you led with the crown, that's a flag. Well, now, even if it's inadvertent and you hit a player with your helmet, that's a flag. So even if it's bang, bang, even if it's just as innocent as day, that's going to be a flag. The third interesting nugget. So the first one was the points per game and how it correlates to the roughing the passer and the DPI. The second thing was the measurement they're taking to decrease concussions and how that's going to impact special teams directly.
Mm-hmm.
And the tackling, which we know the tackling is already kind of like at an all-time low because of some of these rule changes. So that's going to be interesting, which is going to favor teams like San Francisco and Kansas City, who are going to rely heavy on yards after the catch. But the third thing, and this is where I found to be the most interesting, rushing yards per game was the highest in the league since 1987. And rushing attempts per game was the highest in the league over the last 15 years. So clearly, there has been more of we talked about the decrease in quarterback talent. And I think that is one thing that shows across the entire league, they are realizing that the quarterback talent has greatly, greatly dipped over the last couple of years. And that is also something to keep an eye on. Is it possible that the value of the quarterback can diminish over the next decade of National Football League play? Those are the three most interesting things that I've read the last couple of weeks.
Does anybody have anything to say about any of that stuff?
I think
The running backs are getting treated worse.
that's a big. I was exactly what I was gonna say. It's interesting that the number of carries is going up, the number of yards is going up, but we don't want to pay nobody.
That's a number, and that is true, Big Shot. But I think what Mo was saying is like the number of rushes. I wonder, is that also counting the quarterback scrambling and getting out of pocket and more plays that quarterbacks are rushing?
Great point.
Are they counting as that? But
that should be counted. I would assume.
So that's why that number is statistically that number has.
And I can't remember if it was because ironically, it's either one of these articles from ESPN Plus or NFL Plus mentions all of this, but I wish I could still have it up. As far as the rushes per game, they're taking into account designed runs, not scrambles.
Okay. Well, I know this because, Josh Allen, for instance, I know to me is the CBA of this stat. He carried the ball way too much.
Way too much.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Way too much. So yeah, that would be interesting. But now the concussion thing. Now you say the helmet. Are they saying the crown of the helmet this year or the entire helmet?
The entire helmet.
Yeah, that's gonna make for some interesting. Yeah.
Because, like, in my opinion, for example, Kansas City, right? Kansas City is going to be heavy on the yak. They're just going to be. There's no number one wide receiver. Offensive line is still, a lot of questions heading into the season. Kansas City is going to be heavy on the yak. San Francisco, just with the whole structure of Kyle Shanahan's offense, heavy on the yak. The Steelers, dare I say, heavy on the yak. So I think early on, the roughing the passer, defensive pass interference, and this new helmet rule, how are those three things going to be called? Because just from reading it, it seems like when they say more uniform, they mean more strict in terms of favoring the offense.
Yeah.
So I just wonder how those things are going to impact the season early.
And
Well, you can't even blow on the quarterback
thing,
anymore without calling roughing the passer. So
I think oh boy, shade. I think the one thing that we have to really, really pay attention to as well is I know we said already design quarterback runs and things like that. 9 out of 10 teams now are using more quarterback design runs as well. Like if you look at the division, the RPOs, if we were to look then break it like to break down like the formations, the use of the pistol has went up dramatically over the last 5 seasons. The pistol formation, just in particular, for the guys like Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, those type of players. So if you take into consideration the pistol formation, shotgun, and everything else like that, we have a lot of things that we can really, really attest to some of the game kind of going backwards to where it was before, because we didn't have a lot of these elite quarterbacks that we had. I mean, I think we had probably the greatest quarterback 10-year stretch probably in NFL history. You had Peyton and Brady in the same time frame with Breeze and A-Rod and Brett Favre leaving. I mean, you talk about 5 guys that probably have thrown for more yards than you could ever count. And guys are more completions than you'll ever believe. And you look at what they meant, and all of these guys, ironically, were Super Bowl champions.
Mm-hmm.
So you're looking at that now, and you're trying to find the next guy who's going to be that. The next guy, obviously, up is Pat, but Pat is instilling a new school, new generation type of feel to him with some old school traits. And that's the reason why him and Joe are the gatekeepers. And that's the reason why we have a guy like Jalen who's ascendant into these conversations. Even with Josh Allen, it's the same thing. Deshaun Watson, it's the same thing. This is what they keep trying to get Lamar Jackson to be a part of that conversation as well. So that's the reason why things are being put the way that they're put now. And I think that this is the rule changes are going to be based on the time of football that we're in. And the time of football that we're in is our quarterbacks are starting to become, and this is pissing me off, my quarterback should not be the best athlete on my damn team.
Yeah.
So this is a public service announcement. Shout out to all Pee Wee coaches out there who doing their things. If your quarterback is your best athlete, you need to reevaluate how you putting your team together.
Mm-hmm.
Best athletes are the players who protect or promote violence. That's all I need to say.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, I don't know if anybody wants to add anything, but there's no doubt the next evolution of the game is upon us. And we had an extensive show about that last year. And so therefore the entire evaluation process across the board must evolve. And it is going to be interesting to see who takes this new template and applies it to winning football. But I don't know what you want to do with the wrap up, Jerm, but
so real quick, rapid fire style. I'm gonna have everybody pick the division winners. And then when we come back for views and dues, we'll pick our Super Bowl matchups and everything else like that on Sunday. Everybody here today, if you want to be on the show there, you will feel free. We have more than enough room. Views and dues is a family show, even though we may not say family things sometimes. So with that being said, AFC North. I know this is the one that's going to take the longest, so I'm going to make it go first. AFC North. I'm going Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, we'll leave the reasons for later. We'll leave the reasons for later. Jaquan?
Steelers.
Vic?
Cleveland Browns.
Tanya?
Steelers.
Trav?
Oh,
Shut the hell up.
come back to me.
Big Shot?
Baltimore.
I'm going with Cincy.
Right.
Trav?
Yeah, that is Cincinnati.
Cincy. Go ahead, Jerm.
All right, and AFC East. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to roll with the Jets.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Amen.
I want to go with the Jets too, man.
You know I'm a root for a 12 somehow. Give me the Jets.
I want to go with the Jets too, man. That young team with that quarterback, he better step it up. That's all I know. That 12 better step it up.
That's not 12, man. That's 8. Leave it alone, man. He went back.
Oh yeah, he's 8 now.
He went back to Cal Berkeley.
Oh,
He went back to
that's
Cal
right.
Berkeley.
Sweet potato.
He went back to Cal Berkeley.
Shout out Kobe.
So that's 8. I'm going Buffalo.
Big
I'll
shot.
stay with the Jets.
I'm taking Buffalo too. I don't think this Jets thing is gonna go the way y'all think it's gonna go.
Okay.
It might not.
I like
it
it.
might not.
might
I
not.
like it. I like it.
It might be real ugly. It might.
Jaquan,
Jets.
Tanya.
It's 2 of my boys in this division. I'm going to go with the Dolphins.
Tua.
Going Dolphins?
Oh, okay. Okay.
Wait, who's the other one?
Matt Jones.
Okay.
All right, so next one, AFC South. Give me the Trevor Lawrence
Yes, sir.
Jaguars.
Yes, sir.
I agree.
Is there honestly another choice?
You know what?
Right,
I wish I
that's
could say the
Tennessee.
Texans.
Let's
But I
go,
would be like,
Titans.
give me player one, give me player two. I don't know a damn soul on the
Hey,
Houston
listen.
Texans.
I mean, you could pick the Oilers.
I'm not looking forward to Titans football. I'm not looking forward to Oiler football, man. I think it's been one
Yeah,
of the
man.
boring up and down teams the last 5 years.
The
And that's
only
no
good thing
disrespect to
about
Derrick Henry.
the only good thing about the Tennessee Titans is J Ham has his regularly scheduled net program back. That's it.
And we got to hook him up with some film too.
Hey, and barbecue nachos, man, and ham homemade edibles. But anyway,
Yeah, I said we skipped this one. Let's go to the AFC
I
West. don't
think
anybody
that was
cares.
AFC West.
I think that was unanimous. Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Yeah, and wasn't nobody about to go nowhere else. We going where the sun is shining.
And I think this may be unanimous also.
The AFC West.
Listen,
Do I hear?
call me the 12th angry man, okay? I fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I'm going with the Denver Broncos to win that division.
Okay.
Petrie gonna have a verse about you. What?
Hey, listen, he out there smoking that dope. All right, so
Kansas City, man. I gotta go Kansas City, man.
hey, man,
Tanya, you going with Sherbert or you going with Mahomes? I want to hear what Tanya and Vic have to say about this division.
You want me to go ahead first, Tanya, or you got it?
Yeah, because I'm struggling. Go.
I mean, listen, the Chargers are going to be one of my sleepers, but it's going to still be the Chiefs, man, for that division specifically.
Yeah, I know I love Sherbert, but I really think I'm gonna still go with the Chiefs because the Chargers are going to charge.
Most likely.
Charge is still gonna charge.
I mean, their battery light still low. Their phone dying.
Hey, put that
give
needle
me-
down.
Give me Kansas City for obvious reasons. Give me 15. I got 15 reasons to pick 15. There you go. Big Shot, who you got?
It's hard to bet against a team that hasn't played an away playoff game in 5 years.
Man,
Yeah, that's a fact.
So until it happens, it's the Chiefs.
I hear you.
Consistency is the key.
Mhm.
All right, Jaquan, we already know you picking you already picking the Chiefs. We already know. NFC East. I'll start us off.
I can go first.
Go ahead.
Picking the Eagles.
Oh God.
Give me the New York Giants.
Ooh.
Oh. But hold on, though. I agree with Gerald. I'm kicking the Giants, too.
Okay. Vic?
I really like that team.
Listen, man,
I really want to sing with y'all.
I'm not betting against Jalen. Jalen's going to take some steps forward as one of the best QBs in the league. And give me the Giants as finished third, since y'all want to be funny.
I finished third. Okay.
Trav?
Lord, how much? I can't believe I'm about to
He about to pick Dallas. Go ahead.
He about to take Dallas.
do.
Not the Cowgirls.
Dallas can do it. I think Dallas has the talent.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Parsons is a monster.
It's going to definitely be between them.
He's a monster on a mission. Don't y'all know I watched the interview with this dude, and this man talking about he's trying to retire in the next 5 years and he needs a ring. I think defensively, they're the most talented in the. I think they have more talent than Philly on the defensive end.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's fair. Despite Jalen Carter. That's fair.
It's going to be a fight. It's going to be a fight between those two teams.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's just fun.
No doubt.
I think Dallas and especially with them going to the playoffs the way they did last year, I think they're gonna pull one off.
Big shot.
I agree with Trav. I'm saying Dallas, but that has nothing to do with what happens after January 1st.
That's very fair.
Mm.
So I know we said we're gonna leave Regis to Sunday.
Yeah, we'll
But-
leave it to Sunday. But yeah, give me Dallas.
Just real quick, I'm picking Dallas, and it's for several reasons. But the biggest thing I'm looking for with Philly, losing a Super Bowl has a real lingering effect on the following season. Okay, unless you got Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes. To me, there's three things that I'm looking for Philly that I got major questions on. Now, I don't want to say major. 2 out of 3 I got major questions on. One is the culture in Philly. Can they withstand and show that they can build on consistency? Because just be real, we have not seen consistency from Philly other than the years with Andy Reid. Even when they won the Super Bowl, the year before and the year after, they just fizzled out. So consistency, the culture of the Eagles, the maturity, football maturity of that coaching staff, and the growth of Jalen Hurts. 3 questions that I got about Philly. And I think Dallas has a lot more continuity heading into it, believe it or not, and a little better of a roster than what they had last year. So I'm going with Dallas as well.
Okay. NFC West.
I'll take the
Oh,
49ers.
Tom.
I'll
Yeah,
just
you know
go
what?
ahead and go and pick the 49ers just to make it
Yeah.
simple.
Yeah, same here. That's easy.
But I think
Yeah.
Seahawks make it interesting, though. I don't think it's going to be
Seahawks gonna make it very interesting. They're
I
gonna
don't
make
think
it
it's going to
very
be they're going to have the division lead. They're going to have to fight for about like week 16, 17.
But not because there's going to be multiple in the teams wins. There's going to be 10, 11 clawing wins for both teams, I
Yeah,
think. But
definitely.
yeah, San Francisco.
I think I'm gonna go with the Seahawks to go first. To be honest with you.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
They got that. What's that running back's name? Kenneth Walker?
Kenneth Walker the third.
Yeah.
He's going to be interesting. Keep an eye on him this year.
NFC North. Oh, I'm sorry, Tanya. Go ahead.
I'm going with Vic. I'm picking the Seahawks.
I like it. I like it.
You know what though? You know what? Don't be surprised. Cooper Kupp show up and play, man.
Oh, I got no questions about Cooper. I got questions about Stafford.
Yeah.
Yeah, major questions about.
I got questions about the Rams defense as a whole, but we're not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the guys are in down.
NFC North.
Minnesota.
Oh, boy.
Minnesota.
I'm gonna shock y'all when I do this. Ooh.
Me and
the
Jer
Bears.
Jer might be thinking the same thing, but I'm gonna let him go. You got it.
I'm not gonna pick the Vikings because I don't believe in Kirk
Don't
to
pick
be able to sustain this success. I'm not gonna pick, the
already.
Lions because I don't think the Lions really, ready for them to be number one. Give me Matt LaFleur and the Green Bay Packers as the winner of that division.
Wow.
I just think, and I just want to say one thing. The only reason why I feel like Green Bay has always had a pretty talented team, but they've always fell short. Now we changing the quarterback.
Oh, the
And I feel like
blasphemy.
we got a chance.
We have gone. We are way into overtime right now. How long are we in, Trav? How long are we in?
About
How long are we
16.
in?
We are almost. We're 125.
An hour and 25 minutes without blasphemy coming from Germ So True. I thought we was gonna make it a show without some blasphemy. I can't believe you said that.
Yep. Give me. We're gonna change the quarterback. Everybody need to change it sometimes. No, you just need to change the scenery. Maybe A-Rod need to change the scenery.
Listen,
And maybe
Jordan Love.
needs a little bit of Coach LaFleur allowing him to flourish in this offense.
Jordan Love is showing some promise. There was a couple ugly throws in the preseason. But he's also had some good.
Hey, promise is a comfort to a fool. Okay, that's what I know.
Now here, and they also have some interesting players. They have a tight end that they're really, really, really very, very high on too coming up. That's gonna be his best friend. I'm gonna roll with the Packers.
All right. I'm actually gonna go with the Detroit Lions, believe it or not. Okay. I think Dan Campbell has been building a culture there. I think they have slowly built a decent lineup. I think they probably gonna end up having the best locker room out of that division. I think Minnesota I wholeheartedly believe this is Kirk Cousins' last year in Minnesota. I still think Justin Fields is miles away from being a dependable player.
You see, I ain't even mention him.
Listen, Jordan Love, he might be good. He might end up being a Pro Bowl, take your team to the playoff type of quarterback. I don't know. But just looking at what I've seen the last few years and how trends tend to work in the NFL, I think the Lions are trending towards a division title this year. I really do. Big Shot?
In the group on Jerry's post, he said, "What was the ceiling on Minnesota?" I said 11 wins, but I want to change that now. I'm agree with Mo. Give me Detroit.
I like it.
Free World, Eminem.
Listen, y'all just want to go to WZUP radio. That's all y'all want to do. Y'all trying to get season tickets with Tim the Toolman Taylor and stuff.
Give me Detroit.
I like it.
Jordan Love is too unproven, and the Bears have to make too big a leap to be top. I mean, I know NFL you can go from an improvement, but 3 wins to 10 is it's a big ask. Give me Detroit.
I'm gonna go with the Vikings and Detroit giving them problems though.
I'm with you on that, Vic. I'm with you on that. Tanya, who you got?
Y'all know I like you. Right. I love him. I've always liked him. But I'm gonna go with Detroit.
Get off
they got my boy Gibbs. I'm here for it. The man cried in the damn post game. They fighting for that movie.
Mm-hmm. They are. They are. We gotta give him credit.
And the NFC South. I just want y'all to know we have retired. Shout out to Jack Swagger because we have retired We the People. So We the People is only associated with OJ from this point forward. So with that being said, let me give me the Derek Carr Saints as the division winner. They still got one of the best 53-man rosters in the league. They just got and listen, I mean 30 for 30 plus he not quite 30 is that might equal 10, 12 wins. You never know.
I just want the people watching to understand what they've seen tonight. They've seen Jerm and Mo pick Derek Carr and Aaron Rodgers. I want everybody just absorb that situation.
Slander
I hope they screen recorded.
Oh, jeez.
Give me Bijan. I'm going with Big Shot. Give me Bijan and the Falcons.
Oh, listen. Is it my turn?
Go ahead.
Go ahead, buddy.
Go ahead.
It's always your turn.
Like I told y'all, we were barbecuing earlier, and my mom makes this like jambalaya rice without obviously the the pork in it. So it's basically like a vegetarian jambalaya rice, but nonetheless, it's still pretty good. It ain't good enough for me to pick the New Orleans Saints and Derek Carr to win the division. My gut feeling, okay? And my gut got some goat in it right now. I'm going to go with Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers to win the division. That is my gut feeling. I like the roster. I like Bryce Young. Give me the Panthers.
Now, what he gonna be screaming if this don't work out is that day, he ended up having an upset stomach. So I just want y'all to know he trusted his gut and then it failed him. So just want y'all to know. But with that being said,
Oh my God,
Tanya gotta go.
Everybody picked?
No, Tanya.
I'm going with the Aints.
Yeah, because you know what?
Well, I think I know where Tanya's going.
I think I know too.
I know where she.
I want to pick Bryce Young so bad.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Do it.
Do it.
Express yourself.
Because y'all know I support. But when I don't even want to say this in public. But when Derek Carr left the Raiders, I said, what if he goes to New Orleans and balls out? Does that mean that the Raiders are the problem?
I believe.
Oh, so it's about you being right. Got you. Okay, I get it.
I'm going with the Saints.
Okay. Interesting.
You know what?
Mm.
I'm gonna ride with them till the wheels fall off. They are the two-time NFC South champions. Everything is there except for a sorry-ass quarterback.
I thought to say you. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Defense is still there. The offensive weapons is still there. Just throw the ball to the right people when they open, Baker. That's all I'm asking. I'm going with the Bucks, man. I'm going with
Brother
the Bucks.
Trav. Brother Trav.
Way to
Hold
stay
on,
true
hold
to
on.
the game.
Trav, Florida State,
Hold
man.
on.
Hey, man.
Say what? Hey,
Baker.
maybe Jordan Trav.
You saying you gonna go till the wheels fall off? DOT might not even let those wheels get on the road, brother. You got.
It's gonna be what it's gonna be at this point. I mean,
This Baker slander got to stop, man.
My boys that jumped off, they left me on the boat by myself. I gotta sink with it. I gotta sink.
I mean, at least I left you with the good paddles.
Say what?
I left you with the good paddles.
Yeah, you left me. Now you treat me like what's the old boy name from the Titanic?
Oh no, you're not Jack. No, not Jack.
Y'all gonna let me freeze? I got my hand out. Nobody want to get it.
You know, the sad
Not
part,
Jack.
Trav, is I'm the one that stole the boat that said F the kids and the women.
Y'all
You
got
see a
y'all
lonely boat out
violins.
there.
Y'all
That's
got
me.
y'all violins playing on the boat, trying to keep
Lord have
everybody
mercy.
calm, but then y'all bail out too.
Trav, you playing the violin on the boat?
They playing the violin on the boat and they bail
Nah,
out.
he on there playing. Nah, Trav on there playing cornhole.
Hey, long
He
as
in the
that flow
cornhole
even, I'm
tournament. Let me
straight.
sink this last one before we sink.
As long as that flow even, I'm straight. I'm staying
So
with
with
the Bucks.
that,
I'm staying with the Bucks.
so with that being said, y'all, this has
Oh my
just
God.
been a very, very small snippet of what the season preview is all about. Don't forget, Views and Dues will be present live in living color. We will be there with you guys Sunday. We back to 11:45.
Well, probably 11:30, just because
Oh,
we'll see. It is the first week, so maybe we'll do 11 just because it's week 1. But we'll
so
see.
meet us live on the scene at 11 a.m. Sunday morning.
I'll be
And we
live from the
gonna discuss-
tailgate.
Them two, they're gonna be tailgate. I just want
Dang
y'all to
it.
remember, when football season comes upon you, there's no better coverage. There's no better, more objective views than this right here. Views from the 22 live on the scene. We got Big Shot. We got First Lady. We got Trav. We got Jaquan. We got to do a little chicken head because, you know, you be getting tipsy. Then we got Coco Santana, the scout extraordinaire, Mo Schefter, and of course, True Man False World, reporting live, scene represented. We out.